yetu kusaidia msichana mlemavu mwenzangu. Pia mimi niko na yule ulemavu.
Good afternoon. You are in time for the Lunchtime News. A very warm welcome to the broadcast. My name is Irene Muchuma. Let's interact on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. My co-anchor on sign language interpretation this afternoon is Lucy Mwaura. Our top focus this afternoon: continental fragmentation, low intra-regional trade, and slow implementation of tariff agreements are some of the challenges that continue to slow investments between African countries. Speaking during the Students for Liberty Conference at the Catholic University of East Africa, delegates cited openness and well-informed decision-making as some of the remedies African nations could adopt to ease trade in the continent.
There are many aspects that need to be taken into consideration to making Africa borderless. And borderless means, even if you think about the world of today, the way technology is connecting the entire world, the connection that will also make Africa rise up, alleviate poverty and bring more opportunities, especially for our young people.
Mambo ya uchumi kwa nini ni ya maana kwa sisi watu wa Africa in general, but also kwa nini is very important for Burundian people is because kupitia hiyo agenda ya soko ya Afrika itasaidia sana kupandisha uchumi wa nchi zetu za Afrika.
Hopefully we look forward to a future where there's ease of travel across the country. It's not just flights, it's also visas, right? Many Africans are unable to visit other African countries. And it's not because they don't have the means. Sometimes it's also because there are just these impediments, these barriers, these visas that are placed.
All right, let's cross over to the county of Kericho. A section of leaders from Kericho and Bomet counties under the umbrella of Kenya Tea Growers Association, KTG, has condemned the invasion of a Ketra tea company and torching of its tea harvesting machines by rowdy youths. Led by Kericho Senator Aaron Cheriot, the leaders urged youths to stop the riots which have paralyzed transport along Kericho-Bomet Highway for months now. Tea farmers, as well as the Kenya Tea Growers Association chairman, Silas Njibwakale, has suspended operations, citing insecurity. And I do understand right now there is a forum in the county of Kericho on the same. My colleague Wycliffe Okeche is on the ground. Wycliffe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you back in the studio, Irene Muchuma. We are coming to you live from Kipkelion Township Primary School here in Kericho County. Today, at this moment, we are talking about honoring the national heroes. If you are a student of history or Kenyans who have consumed history must know how the country became independent and actually how it became a republic. And one of the people that fought and that contributed that immensely is a member of the famous Talai community or the Talai clan. And today, what's happening here is that last Jamhuri Day that was held on 12th December, that is last year, 2023, there was recognition of the national heroes. Among them, the Arab Samoei, Koitalel, actually, one of the people who contributed immensely to the liberation of the country. And today, that is what's happening here, just a reception of the recognized leaders. And briefly, I know we are hard pressed on time, but then briefly, Irene Muchuma, let me just engage Mr. Emmanuel briefly to tell us exactly. I know you can observe from the background the celebration that is underway here, but now let me engage Emmanuel to briefly help us understand exactly what's happening here. Look into the camera, Mr. Emmanuel, this afternoon. Join us on KBC and tell us exactly what's happening here. I'll hold it for you. Just look into the camera. All right. I'll hold it.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name's Emmanuel Ngetich. I'm one of the great grandsons of Koitalel Samoei. And today we are celebrating a very, very important day in the history of the Talai in Kenya in general, because the Talais are not only confined to Kericho, they are from Moyale, they are from Mandera, they are from Meru, and they contributed immensely towards the independence of this country. Despite the fact that the history of this country has been, of the Talais, have been downgraded, have been degraded because of various political influences, which today we are going to correct. So that is the brief of today's, and we want to send a message, especially to the whole country, the leadership, from the political leadership up to the clan and other leadership at the bottom level, to understand that Talais are really the real deal. Yes.
I know this is quite a right move in recognizing the contribution of the national heroes, those who fought for the liberation of the country. But what do you recognize as one of the probably the key challenge in promoting this kind of initiative?
Yeah, this initiative, as the key challenge, just like I mentioned earlier on, is the fact that nobody has recognized the Talais as freedom fighters in this country. Unlike the Muchuma brothers and all the other brothers within the country who contributed immensely towards the freedom of this country. Remember, Koitalel Samoei, they had a very intestine war with the British, the railways in Nandi Hills for 7 good years. Very many of our great-grandfathers and warriors died because of that. But we want to take this opportunity today to make sure that this is a new beginning. This is a beginning whereby all the Kenyans, our brothers from all over this country, we recognize our Luo brothers. We stayed there for almost over 34 years, and they invited us, they welcomed us, and we stayed there without any problem, and yet we do not even speak the same language. Then in Meru, in Mandera, and in Moyale, we also stay there very well with them, and they are still our brothers and sisters. And I'm so excited today to see our brothers from all those counties. And I feel like I'm 17 years again because of that.
All right, thank you. I understand the excitement this afternoon. Fine. Well, Irene, that is just a snippet of what's happening here today. And the function is just starting. It will. We project it probably it will run all the way to evening, and we're right here. We'll not take notice, or we'll take note of all the speeches here made. Remember, this function is being presided over by the National Council, Heroes Council, actually, and also in conjunction with the Talai Clan Secretariat, as you've heard from Emmanuel Ngetich, who is actually the chairperson of that secretariat. Well, that is just a snippet. Like I've mentioned, much of this function will come to our viewers later on in the subsequent bulletins. I know we are hard pressed on time, Irene, and now just take it away.
Thank you, Wycliffe Okech, giving us live updates from Kipkelion town. during the reception ceremony for national heroes in the county of Kericho. Well, in this bulletin, we'll be revisiting the story that we read earlier on Kenya Tea Growers Association, still in the county of Kericho. But for now, we move to other news making headlines this afternoon. The 47 counties are set to benefit from infant incubators courtesy of Ushirika Wema Foundation following the launch of the infant preterm aid program dubbed Okoa Malkia, aimed at addressing the critical needs of preterm infants. The Okoa Malkia initiative launch saw a total of 14 incubators distributed, benefiting West Pokot, Nandi, Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo, Trans Nzoia and Uasin Gishu counties. The program, unveiled at Uasin Gishu County Hospital, seeks to improve maternal and infant health care.
The Okoa Malaika initiative aims to distribute neonatal equipment to hospitals in all 47 counties in Kenya. By doing so, we will ensure the well-being of mother and child.
Every baby's life is precious, and it's our collective duty to provide these children with the opportunity to grow and mature. The incubators we receive today will be instrumental in giving these children a fighting chance to live to adulthood.
We are working together to develop the guidelines nationally because Mama is a champion of not only one county, but Kenya as a whole. They will ensure that these services get to the level 2 and the level 3 facilities where our pregnant mothers attend for A and C clinics.
To environment concerns, the Conservation Alliance of Kenya, CAK, has lodged an appeal at the National Environment Tribunal opposing the construction of the Mau Mau Road that cuts across the Aberdares Forest and National Park in Nyeri and Nyandarua counties, saying that it will have negative impacts on the ecosystem. The road construction approval was made earlier this year by the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, and gave the green light to the Kenya National Highways Authority to proceed with the construction of the 97.8-kilometer road. Conservationists have, however, proposed the redesigning and upgrade of the Ndaragwa-Kiariamu road as an alternative, citing that it lies outside the protected natural resource and will be less costly.
The Aberdare ecosystem is crucial for economic development and our well-being. It is one of the 5 main water towers providing water to millions around Aberdare and beyond. Nairobi, our capital city, relies heavily on this water source among other urban centers.
I've lodged an appeal in the National Environment Tribunal on behalf of my clients. And it is, or I believe, and I'm confident, that the National Environment Tribunal shall fairly consider my client's issues and justice shall be served.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. We are taking our first commercial break. We'll be back with more, including news making headlines in the world of sports. Stay with us.
Leo tunapika okra. Tunamwaga.
Unaona venye hiyo bicarbonate imefanya kazi, imebaki green.
Yes.
We'll use coconut oil to fry the plantains until golden brown.
Golden brown.
Yeah. So guys, today we have been on the show with Chef Bien, who's a Pan-African chef. who specializes in fusing different African food cultures. And he's taught us how to make goat stew, Congolese style, Caribbean rice, okra special, boiled plantain, and fried plantain.
This is a very exciting moment, not just for Naivasha, not just for the county of Nakuru, but also for Kenya.
Okay, ready? Ready. This thing is crazy. I mean, the sheer speed, you can hardly see the road. These guys are really professional. It's really something out of this world. Ask me whether I want to do this again? I'm not sure.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. Welcome back. Now, let's revisit our story from Kericho County on tea growers. A section of leaders from Kericho and Bomet counties under the umbrella of Kenya Tea Growers Association, KTG, has condemned the invasion of a Kericho tea company and torching of its tea harvesting machines by rowdy youths. Led by Kericho Senator Irene, the leaders urged youths to stop the riots which have paralyzed transport along Kericho-Bomet Highway for months now. Kenya Tea Growers Association KTGA Chairman Silas Njibwakale has suspended operations citing insecurity. Let's have a look.
What we have agreed is that those whose offences are not related in any way to the occurrences of lawlessness inside the estates, because there are people who, as leaders we know, have been picked along maybe Premier in Brook, Kapsaos, in Kapkilaibe in Bomet, Chepchabas, Kaptebengwo, people who are picked innocently and they were not inside the tea fields. So we have agreed to compile a list of all those names. And first of all, as a first process, share them with the multinationals and KTGA to counter-check with their records and confirm that indeed they hold no complaints directly against those people. Then we shall jointly be approaching the Director of Public Prosecution with a view to asking them to stand down charges against those people as a way of confidence building with the local community.
We are interested in a win-win position, both for the multinational companies. We want them to see progressing, so that when they progress, when they succeed, we also get the resultant benefits.
All we are asking from the community is that you give us that conducive atmosphere to be able to do our business.
Still in the county of Kericho, workers in the region water and sanitation company are seeking the intervention of Governor Eric Mutai and Senator Irene to settle their pay dispute through the Kawasco Workers Union. They are accusing the managing director, Eric Siele, of mismanagement, saying some casuals have worked for the company for more than 10 years and have not been confirmed to permanent and pensionable terms.
Tunaomba MD yetu awasaidie watu walipe pesa yao. Tunaomba senata na governor waingilie hii kati ya hii, and they also try to come and resolve this issue. These staff are grieving. They are really crying.
Tuko na casuals ambao wamefanya kazi for over 10 years. Hawajajiriwa under permanent and pensionable terms. We are requesting that audit report reach Honorable Felix Koskei. How do you run company bila board of directors? How do you run this essential company bila technical manager? How do you run this essential company bila IT manager? You are just unpicking people and install them there. They are acting. Right now, acting period ya TM ilisha. Acting period ya IT manager ilisha. Solidarity forever.
Police in Isebania have impounded bang estimated to be worth 20 million shillings that were in transit in a significant crackdown on drug trafficking. The county commander of police, while commending the efforts of the officers involved, noted that the operation was successful following a collaboration between the Isebania police and their counterparts from Tanzania. So far, one suspect has been arrested as investigations continue.
And we want to tell the owners of these matatus, the circles, that they are risking the same matatus to be forfeited to the government. Those who are carrying the same narcotic drugs, we shall not relent, and we shall be requesting the court to take a deterrent measure as penalties, as punishments, to ensure that we make our count and the sanity that is supposed to be there is restored.
A section of women from Kericho, Narok County, are using online platforms such as Instagram and Facebook to market their traditional wares, including beadwork. Nashipai Lupembe says online platforms have increased access to markets, unlike conventional hawking, making it convenient and profitable.
Maasai women are renowned for their mastery of beadwork, which is synonymous with the community's traditional attire.
This is where we transfer the knowledge of beading from mother to daughter, which is basically not competitive in the market. It's so old-fashioned, and now we want the competitive beading.
For a group of 30 women in Kericho, Narok County, online platforms are proving to be a convenient way to market their products. Nashipai Lupembe says online trade has opened the group to global markets.
I'm using TikTok to do the bidding, and personally I'm doing a lot of TikTok, doing the tree planting project, and I hope the botanicals that they're using, the maragin are using, they'll be buying for me in future. So I use a lot of TikTok, I use Instagram and even Facebook, and we also have House in the Wild, whereby they're using all these social medias. And we will just need to upgrade them a bit because we are now realizing we are now in a competitive world.
The women are now eyeing the leather sector as they diversify their portfolio.
The maragin has a lid that is a beaded lid, and it's actually now being made by the women from here. So for us, it was to be an income-generating idea for the women, and it will make the women busy.
An empowered Maasai female community who are making our beaded caps. And one, we're giving them an income stream through the caps, but we're also training them up. So one on optimizing their beading, but also trying to give them other avenues for their incomes.
Nashipai says to build capacity, they're undertaking bookkeeping and table banking. They hope that constant upskilling will transform their lives in a community that is largely patriarchal.
We have decided as a community that we need to empower the women. We need to bring the women to a front line. We need the women to be heard. We need them to raise their voices. And we also have talked to the men. So we have gotten the authority from the men, because they have also seen that employing the women in here and even empowering the women changes the homes. Most of them are just, now the homes have changed. We have women that can testify how their homes have changed out of empowerment.
Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
Kisii County Assembly Minority Leader Dennis Ombachi has called for dialogue between employers and striking health workers in the region to iron out contentious issues in the collective bargaining agreement. Ombachi further urged the county executive to expedite procurement processes and the equipping of dispensaries under construction.
If they have 10 grievances, they can see which one they can start with. For example, there are those win-win situations about, for example, those workers that have not been paid for 24 months. That is a win if the money is there. Now the board is in place, they can be able.
If this money pays the right people, if this money buys the right drugs, because we're also not sure if there is sufficient medication for the patients who get there. So again, we go back to the budget allocation rightfully done by the Assembly.
The newly appointed commanders of various ranks of the Kenya Defence Forces have this morning taken the oath of office at State House, Nairobi, in a ceremony presided over by President William Ruto. They include Vice Chief of Defence Forces, Lieutenant General Charles Mureu Kahariri, Kenya Army Commander Lieutenant General David Kimayo Terus, and Kenya Navy Commander Major General Thomas Njoroge Ng'ang'a. The President also nominated retired Lieutenant General Jonah Mwangi as Kenya's ambassador to Iran and retired Lieutenant General Peter Mbogo Njiru as Kenya's High Commissioner to Pakistan.
After their promotion and appointment on Friday, President William Ruto on Saturday morning presided over the investiture of rank ceremony and the swearing in of the Kenya Defence Forces leadership at State House, Nairobi. Lieutenant General Charles Mureu Kahariri was sworn in as the new Vice Chief of Defence Forces, taking the baton from Lieutenant General Jonah Mwangi, who was retired after serving in the Kenya Defence Forces for 42 years.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya.
Lieutenant General David Kimayo Terus, formerly Deputy Army Commander, was sworn in as Kenya Army Commander, taking over from Lieutenant General Peter Njiru, who is leaving the force after 39 years of service.
I, David Kimayo Terus, Commander of the Kenya Army, do swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya and to the President as the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces.
Major General Thomas Ng'ang'a, formerly Base Commander, Kenya Navy Base Manda, took the oath of office as the new Kenya Navy Commander, taking over from Lieutenant General Jimson Longiro.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya and to the President as the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces.
Lieutenant General Longiro is the new Vice Chancellor of the National Defence University. As he urged them to continue defending the sovereignty of the country, President Ruto also congratulated Lieutenant Generals Jonah Mwangi and Peter Njiru, who are taking up diplomatic postings in Iran and Pakistan, respectively.
I am confident that the positions that you now occupy are positions that you're going to use to build the military as an institution.
Giverson Minor, Lunchtime News.
And from that presidential bit, we cross over to the world of sports. Welcome to Channel 1 Sports. The national sevens rugby team Shujaa and their female counterparts, Lionesses, registered mixed results in their opening matches at the ongoing HSBC Sevens Challenger Series in Montevideo, Uruguay. Shujaa opened their campaign with a hard-fought 19-12 win over Portugal before losing 17-0 to Georgia in the second pool match. The Kenyan side will face Tonga at 8:46 p.m. in their final pool match. Shujaa won the Challenger Cup final last year after defeating Chile 12-5. Lionesses lost their opening match 12-0 to Hong Kong, China, before humbling Papua New Guinea 29-12. Lionesses will face Belgium in their final pool match this evening. The top 4 teams in the Challenger Series standings will compete in a promotion relegation tournament alongside the bottom 4 teams from the 7th World Series in the grand final in Madrid, Spain.
Defence disorganised, quick thinking of Omondi.
Former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua registered a second-round knockout win over Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. Joshua, 34, floored the UFC champion in the first round and early in the second, forcing the center referee to stop the contest.
He's hurt. Let's see if AJ jumps right on him.
So long, isn't it, from Ngannou? And heavy.
Why that right hand? He's He's hurt, badly hurt. He's Anthony Joshua can dispose of the MMA champion. It is lights out. Wow. Anthony Joshua. Incredible. What a shot. And Ngannou's out cold, ladies and gentlemen.
The fighting pride of Watford, London, England, former 2-time world champion AJ Anthony Joshua.
30 minutes past the hour, we have come to the end of Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms. For more details on ad items and many more, do log on to www.kbc.co.ke. My name is Irene Muchuma. On sign language interpretation, we have Lucy Maura. Good afternoon.